Beautiful day, and you're gonna die alone. I thought that would be a good way to start this video, and plays into the point of what I want to talk about today. And I've had people say that to me before. You can almost guess who would say that to someone, and a lot of men have probably heard that "you're gonna die alone" thing when like their girl gets mad at them, or they go through a breakup, or maybe you just have this self-deprecating view of life and your circumstances where you feel like that's a bad thing. Now, I want to say this. The reason why I started this video with "you're gonna die alone" is because everybody dies alone at the end of the day, right? Like, everyone always thinks like they're gonna be surrounded by like their closest loved ones, and you're gonna pass away peacefully, which for some people that does happen. I know this is like a weird, morbid intro to this video, but the reason I'm saying this is because you have to understand that as a man, I can't speak for women, and I can't speak for children anymore because I'm not a kid. So, obviously I can speak in the logical sense, but I am a grown man. So that's how I view life now, right? And one of the biggest things for me is that I learned, and where my power in life started to come from, was the ability to be alone, and the ability to spend time with myself, and the ability to really learn myself and fucking not try to band-aid up every time I felt lonely or I felt like I needed another person. The reason I started this video with that, saying "you're gonna die alone," is simply because I know a lot of men, and I know a lot of guys that are like me. Maybe they have like a type A personality, and they're very headstrong in their beliefs, and which is fine, right? And the reason I'm saying that is because I've had multiple women tell me that "oh, you're gonna die alone," all this shit, and blah blah blah. And you know how women use that as a like a defense. Like, sometimes they say it because they're just trying to get under your skin, right? And no one said this to me recently. Like, I'm not in a relationship. I'm happily single, and no one said this to me recently. But I started to think about this when men are being told this, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna die alone. I feel bad about myself. I feel bad about my life. I feel bad about my circumstances." When in reality, being alone is one of the most important parts about being a man. Being able to spend that time alone, being able to really feel at peace when you're alone, is where all the best things come from, right? And I think that, now look, I know there's some family men that watch my stuff, and they go, "Well, what about the kids, and I'm married and all this shit." And if that is the case, first of all, I'm happy for you. Second of all, even more so, right? And you're not always going to be with your family. That's the truth. Even most guys, like, if they have their own business, they learn, well, fuck. I've had a couple clients that they left their 9-to-5 or left their job or started to scale their business up. And then they were working from home, and then they realized, like, "Oh, fuck, I actually shouldn't be around my kids all the time. I actually shouldn't be around my wife all the time. I actually shouldn't be around other people all the time, ever. I actually need to spend time alone, working in solitude, and I need to spend that time actually cultivating my own belief system." Because a lot of men don't realize, like, in this day and age, right, in this society that we live in, and I don't want to be a part of this. So this is why I'm making videos like this, right? Like, there's so many distractions, and there's so many things that are pulling your attention, right? And a lot of men, I was just talking to my good friend the other day. I drove to New York. I live about, like 2 hours from New York. Pulled up to New York late night. Pulled up to New York at like, 8 p.m. So it was late. And I was sipping espresso at like 10 p.m., which is just not smart, but I think it's cool. This is cool, drinking espresso. Like, we were at the bar You know, we're walking around New York City. If you guys have ever been to New York, it's really cool. It's really cool. I love it. I love visiting. And there was like this bar and a bunch of people were taking shots and shit. And there was like a cafe in the bar. So me and my boy Darian, we were just having espresso, talking life. He's been a good friend of mine since we were both 12, maybe even younger. But regardless, I told him, I said, dude, sometimes as I get older, and I'm sure other people feel like this, and I'm 29, I'll be 30 in, holy shit, I'll be 30 in 6 days. Fuck. Anyway, I learned that a lot of men don't have time to think. They don't give themselves the time to think about their life, to think about anything. And I understand that there's this aspect of unproductive overthinking. I'm not talking about that. I'm actually talking about using your one most powerful resource, and it's focus. And being able to think creatively within your focus, within that focus time, is what changed my life completely. You know, a lot of people don't spend that time alone. You know, they don't give themselves, first of all, they don't give themselves the opportunity to spend time alone. The reason that I brought up the "you're gonna die alone" comment and the relationships and all this and that is because, and I look at myself as someone who's, I really am trying to serve. I really am trying to give back to you guys, like outside of business. Yes, very fucking obviously, I have a business. I'm a coach. I coach bodybuilders. I help them make money through Instagram and through YouTube, it's very simple, through organic social media. But instead of just posting random shit and throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks, I have a whole system that I created over the past 13 years of doing this business. And I have clients that are able to make more money in their first month than I did in my first literal 10 years in the business. So with that being said, yes, I have a business. Fuck yes, I have a goal to make as much money as possible, secure my future for my family and all that. But the reason I'm making this video, the reason why I make these videos and I talk like this to you guys is because I've seen it happen too much. And to give you guys a little story, I don't want to talk too much about it because it's just, I don't want to dwell on it, but I had a childhood friend of mine take his own life, and we weren't best friends when he did it. So I just want to point that out. Like, I wouldn't want, if I passed away, I wouldn't want someone that wasn't actually my friend pretending to be my friend. And not that I wasn't actually his friend, it's just that we lost touch, right? We lost touch, and I hadn't really talked to him or his family in like 7 years. And yeah, I moved around a little bit, and you know, life happens. The one thing that sticks out about this person though, that I used to spend a lot of time with, we used to skate and hang out together, was that I felt like he didn't know things that I knew that kept me from massive pain in my life. And the big, stop, why this stuck out so much to me was because I felt like there was things that he didn't know that he should have, that maybe could have prevented him taking his own life, right? And I have noticed this with clients, with friends, is that the whole, like, you break up with a girl or you're divorced or whatever, you let that consume your mind and you actually look at it as a bad thing, that, you know, spending time alone and being with yourself, you look at it as a bad thing, and it's never a bad thing. It's actually the opposite, right? And I think that society, people that don't understand men, not saying women, I'm just saying in general, they don't understand us. They don't understand the fact that no, as a man, you need to be alone. You need to spend most of your time, maybe not alone selfishly, of course, but you need to have that time where you do spend it alone, where you're not talking to anyone but God, and you're with yourself, and it's just you two, and that's all you're focused on. And I'm not talking about praying, which I do believe is important. Just taking a step back, not even praying, just taking a step back, right? But it's good to be alone. And at the end of the day, everybody dies alone. It's just you and God. So you might as well get good at being alone. You might as well get comfortable with being alone. And you might as well realize that the true glory and the true greatness is not built when everyone around you that you take care of is enjoying the fruits of your labor. It's when you're building the skills and you're building the man that can create that life for yourself and other people. Everyone dies alone. It's just you and God. And that's okay. No victim.